This week's video is all about 2013 favourites. Something I've done, well, I say every year, I've done it every year for the last couple of years, and I thought this year, rather than do it as a blog post where I did a little roundup, or a series of blog posts where it was a sort of category with a dedicated favourite for each one, I thought I'd do a roundup in video. So what I've been doing is making a little list, which I have for me here, to remind myself what I've done. So two things that are different. One, obviously I'm doing it as a video. Two, rather than just doing my number one favourite of the year, I've done a kind of what's my favourite and what's been worth an honourable mention. Because I started off I started blogging in 2009, and I guess I've had this sort of list of categories of favourites for a while. And then I kind of realised that there's so many different categories to beauty that I'm always forgetting something. I could always be adding something different in there that's like a little bit more, like I realised I didn't have a category for favourite blusher or something, which, okay, clearly beauty blogger problems and stuff like that, but it could do with a blusher category. Like, everybody loves blusher, I particularly love blusher. Like, if I was going to leave the house, it'd be mascara and blusher, my number two things. So anyway, I'll go through the categories, and then I'll give there's a few like honourable mentions at the end of other ones I've been loving. So category number one is mascara, favourite mascara for the year. So the winner, or the choice, I don't know whether to call it a winner because it's literally category of one voted for by me. My favourite mascara of the year has got to be the Clarins Be Long mascara, which is this one. Really loving mascara. It just does a good job. Smallish wand, a bit different because it's a comb rather than a brush. I tend to prefer a brush, but I still really like it. It just does a really great job. Nice packaging, etc, etc. It's really lovely. The honourable mention on this one has to go to the Bobbi Brown Intense Long Wear mascara. That was one that saw me through at least the first half of the year. Probably shouldn't have been that long because it should be only like 3 months for mascara, but never mind. But that was a really fantastic mascara, and I really loved that one as well. It was great because it had a little tiny brush, so it was really good for the bottom lashes as well as top, rather than needing two separate ones, which is always a bonus. But 2013 mascara of the year has got to be Clarins Be Long. Next up, I've got foundation. So foundation, just excuse me if I keep looking down because I've got my little list of things to kind of reference here. So my foundation for the year has got to be, and this was quite an easy choice actually, and there's been a few quite good ones, but the absolute winner is the YSL Youth Liberator foundation. I absolutely love this one because it's just the perfect combination of, it's got the skin benefits in it, so it's got the little anti-aging serum as well. It has a gorgeous finish in terms that it's glowy but matte at the same time. It's just the perfect balance between the two, which I love because I don't like too glowing, I don't like too matte. This is literally the perfect balance between the two. Absolutely fantastic. The shade I wear is the BR20 in this one. Don't have it on now actually, I have a by Terry foundation on, but I was wearing this one all weekend, but because I set it out to do the video I actually applied a different foundation. There we go. But for this one, another honourable mention goes to the Bobbi Brown, and it's got to be the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, which I think deserves a mention because this again is one that saw me through the first half of the year, and I was absolutely loving this until I kind of, it seems to be around September time, lots of new foundations launch every year, so I don't know whether that's just a trend that kind of happens, but it does. But before that, Skin Foundation, which I absolutely loved again for the finish, I just really liked it because it gave just the perfect medium coverage, which sort of evened everything out but left everything still looking quite natural as well, so very happy with that as well. So honourable mention for Bobbi Brown, foundation of the year, YSL. Next we have, I think this one is Beauty Basic. Oh no, sorry, next one is Gadget. Now technically I don't actually have them to show because one of them I think is, well I think it's a really great invention, but I don't have one myself, but I've seen it in action and I've had it like tried on my hair and stuff at the launch event, so I think it's really fantastic, and it's the Babyliss Curl Secret. So it's so good that I'm considering doing my hair for my own wedding next year, rather than have a hairdresser do it. Possibly a bit brave, possibly foolish, depending on how you look at it. But I'm thinking of investing in that as my gadget to kind of help me create that kind of beachy waves, kind of relaxed feel curls. I've seen it in action, it's just so easy to do, it's really consistent. As long as you keep the kind of size of the curls pretty similar, then you're pretty safe in terms of keeping it all really even. So that has to be my gadget of the year, is the Babyliss Curl Secret, particularly the fact that they brought out the slightly cheaper version for sort of the high street rather than the more expensive salon version. But the other one that's worth a mention as well, which I've got a review coming up for, so it's a bit of a late edition but I still think it gets the honourable mention one, is the latest Brawn Epilator, which is one that's got a dual head. It's got the epilating head, which I know a lot of people are quite scared about epilating, but I've done it for a couple of years. I mean, on and off, not consistently, but particularly in summer I tend to go for epilating over shaving. And it's really effective. It's not as painful as it sounds as long as you do it properly and you kind of follow the rules. As long as you get a wet and dry one, do it in the water, don't let the hair grow too long, which was the first mistake I made, is trying to like, thinking it's like waxing, you need to let the hair grow, etc. You don't, you need to keep it fairly short, like enough so you can feel there's a bit of hair there, but not so much that you're kind of gorilla territory sort of thing. In fact, I could probably dedicate a whole video to epilating and the sort of joys and pains of it. But the Braun Epilator for me, it's the Silk Appeal 7, I believe, and it's got a sort of dual head, so you can put one which is an exfoliating, like rotating, kind of a bit like the Clarisonic idea, but for body, head on it, and then the other head's obviously the epilating one. So it's really good if you want to do sort of prep for fake tan at the same time as epilating as well. So honourable mention goes to the Braun Silk Appeal, but the gadget of the year has to be the Babyliss Curl Secret, which is awesome. Next up is Beauty Basic, which is next on my list. So the Beauty Basic has to be for these glamorous lovely items, which are the Primark flannels. No, they're not glamorous, no, they're not expensive, but they are absolutely fantastic. I can't remember how much I paid for these. It was maybe like £1, possibly £2, I don't know. But I mean, I think I've got a whole set of these, and these are my latest ones that I purchased fairly recently, and I wanted to blog about them. But they are, I mean, I got the tip of using flannels from Caroline Hirons, who, it's one of those things, I've used a flannel when I was a kid, and I always thought it was a kind of, I had the joke that my mum would wake me up with a cold flannel in the morning. I don't think she ever actually did, but there was always a threat of, if I wouldn't get out of bed for school, she'd come and wake me up with a cold flannel. So I kind of had negative associations, I guess, with flannels, but they are actually really good, and I much prefer them to like muslin cloths and things. They just feel like they leave the skin that bit cleaner and that bit sort of less residue on it and things like that. So these are really fantastic, an absolute bargain, and there's no reason why you need to spend a lot of money on flannels, because they are cheap as chips and they're fantastic. The honourable mention for Beauty Basic has to go to this one, which is the Nivea Soft. Again, it's one of these products that's not necessarily for everybody, because I know it does contain like glycerin and liquid paraffin, I think it is, like, or parfinium liquidium. Sounds like some sort of Harry Potter spell, but basically it's not for everyone. I wouldn't use it on my face or anything like that, but I find for hands I really love this, and this is a little pot that I've got sitting in the top drawer of my desk, so I reach for this whenever my hands are getting a bit dry or I just want to kind of feel refreshed or whatever. So it's one of those things that I know lots of people don't like, so fair enough, but for me I actually really like this as a Beauty Basic, and it does the job. It's simple, moisturizes, fantastic. So winner for 2013's Beauty Basic is the flannels, and the honourable mention goes to the Nivea Soft for me. Next up on my list is the nail product. This is, again, it's kind of a recent addition, so I feel a bit cheeky for including this one because it is so recent, but it's got to be the Nails Inc Old Bond Street, which is the indigo shade that I recently blogged about as the autumn winter colour. But it is absolutely gorgeous, and I really, really like this one. Sorry, slight little aside there because I lost battery, but I'm back. So there was this one, which is the Nails Inc Old Bond Street shade, which is from the autumn winter collection, which I absolutely love. The other one, which is the honourable mention one, which again is another one from kind of this season, I guess, is the Essie Wicked shade. It's just, again, it's the kind of perfect autumn winter shade, but it's one that I personally love to wear the sort of the dark short nails year round, or the bright red I suppose as well as the other option, but for the dark short one this is the really, really perfect colour. So Essie Wicked is my sort of honourable mention, but colour of the year for me has got to be the Old Bond Street from Nails Inc. I'm going to try and whiz through these a little bit because I tend to end up waffling far too much, so sorry about that. So we've got Nails Inc as nail products of the year, and then number 6 we have fragrance. So there's 2 for this. One of them, slightly worried I've kind of got it wrong in that I don't think it was actually launched this year, but for me it's been fragrance of the year in that I've used it a lot this year, and it's been sort of, I say not my signature fragrance, I'm not quite that organised, but for me the first one, starting with my fragrance of the year, has got to be this one, which is the Reese fragrance, and it's called Reese Grey Flower. It's the gorgeous sort of gold chrome bottle. It's got, I'm quite lucky, I've got a little personalised version. I've got Beauty Junkie in London over, which I love. But it's the first fragrance launch, as I understand, from Reese. There was Grey Flower, and then the other one was just the slightly more sort of masculine feeling one, and I was kind of given the choice which one I wanted to try, and I went with this one. And it's so unique, but really familiar at the same time. It's very hard to put your finger on, but it's something powdery floral about it, and I just absolutely love it. And it's one of those ones that you put that on your dressing table and it just looks gorgeous as well. So I absolutely love the Reese Grey Flower one. It's really nice to see a sort of fashion brand, I guess, launching a fragrance that isn't, it's not like almost a celebrity fragrance, I guess, because it's almost like, oh, you don't do fragrance, you do fashion. Now I'm going to decide to do fashion fragrance, but there is a genuine sort of, it just fits the brand in that it's quite unique and classy and different, but wearable and familiar at the same time, if that makes sense. Not doing too well on the whole not waffling thing. But my honourable mention has to go to this one, which is the Jo Malone Earl Grey and Cucumber fragrance, which I actually think was probably launched in 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a spring launch for 2012. But for me, this year I've just worn it an awful lot. And it's just one that I absolutely love the scent of it, and I feel like I've heard a few more and more people talking about it. So it is part of the main collection now, and you can still get this, so even if it was launched spring 2012, you're okay if you want to pick it up. So those are my two fragrances. So number one for fragrance for 2013 has got to be the Reese Grey Flower for me. Next up for lips. Now there's only one real contender for the lip product of the year for me, and I know that some people are going to hate this because they're going to say like, nah, it's just lip balm, whatever. Yeah, it is. It's just a lip balm, but it's a really good lip balm and it's cute, it's nice packaging, and for some reason we haven't had it over here yet, and then we got it and it was really exciting. So for me it's got to be the Maybelline Baby Lips. This is my particular favourite one, which is the mint one, I believe. Is the mint one, or is it the... Is it the mint? No, it is a mint one. It's yeah, it is. It's definitely the mint one. Just checking, because there's two that I like. There's the mint. Oh, it's the blue one is the other one, which is the sort of intensive care one. So if you've got really chapped lips, which I do tend to have in winter, but for this one, it is the minty flavour one. It's my favourite. Baby Lips. It's got to be the launch of the year for 2013 for me. But with an honourable mention, going to the L'Oreal Collection Privé nude range. With particular mention for the JLo nude one, which is one that I was given this in a sort of goodie bag, I suppose, and I looked at the colour and I just thought, that's not really for me, that's got to be too dark and too brown. But it actually works really, really nicely, and I really, really love the shade. So this was kind of the one that, I guess that's the best way of explaining it, is that I didn't think I'd like it, but I did, and it kind of changed my perception of nude shades that suits me, if that makes sense, which is why I really like the Collection Privé from L'Oreal, because it is one of those collections where there really is a shade of nude for every skin tone, every like colouring mix, I suppose. So that is definitely the honourable mention. So number one for me is Baby Lips, number two is the Collection Privé from L'Oreal. Next up for face moisturiser, I've got one that I don't actually have a pot on me because I've just finished it and thrown it out. So bad beauty blogger there, but good beauty blogger because it means I've gone through another pot of it. But it's the Origins Plant Scription Moisturiser. It was the oil-free version that I liked, is my favourite, but yeah, absolutely love that one. It's one of those ones that's anti-aging, it's moisturising, it has SPF 25 in it, it's just got a nice all-rounder. It's Origins, I'm a bit of a sucker for Origins skincare anyway, so Origins has to be the absolute winner. But with an honourable mention going to Lms Night Cream, which is the Pro Collagen Oxygenating Night Cream. It's another one I've been using for a little while. It's almost sort of snuck in under the radar a little bit because I've had it for a while. And I love the smell of it as well. It's just one I've been using all the time, and it's just one that you almost don't realise you miss it until you miss it, if that makes sense. But so I've been using this, absolutely love it. So honourable mention to the LMS, with the winner for 2013 being Plant Scription. Winner. It's like I'm giving away some sort of awards, it's ridiculous. So face moisture, number 9, almost there, we're getting to the end of it. 9 is eye product, with number 1 being Starting Over from Sunday Riley, which is available from Cult Beauty. Firstly, I'm kind of a sucker for Sunday Riley purely because it's part of my name, and I find that quite amusing, which is a really narcissistic way to like a product, but I do. But this is an active eye cream, and it repairs, protects, nourishes, whilst helping you feel more rested and alert. Who couldn't do with a little bit of that? It's basically like a really nice lightweight sort of gel kind of moisturiser. You just use one little pump, and I kind of rub it all around the eye area, all up over there, and then like round here as well, and it just really refreshes and stuff. It works day or night, it's just a really good all-rounder. So I've been absolutely loving this. I'm going to be devastated when this one runs out because it is quite an expensive one. The next up on my list has got to be, it's the honourable mention for eye cream, I suppose. It's got to be the MAC Fast Response, which is one that I've had it in my collection for sort of a while and haven't touched it, because I kind of, for skincare in particular, I don't like to just sort of try something and move on to something else. I try it and try it until it's either I'd realise I don't like it or it's finished. The sort of the two options. But this is one that I kind of dug out just because I was sitting at my desk and my eyes felt really tired, and popped it on just under the eyes. And it, when we say fast response, it is one of those ones that you put it on and instantly your eyes look and feel brighter and better and really, really nice. So MAC is one that I've probably underrated a little bit for skincare. It's just not a brand that I think of when you come to skincare stuff, but absolutely love this one. So that's definitely an honourable mention, and it's honourable mention basically because it's only a recent discovery and I haven't really given it time to feel like it's made a real difference over a while, I guess. Next up, final two there is for, oh no, sorry, three. We've got one which is a number 10 Specialist Skincare, which is against a thing I had last year, so it's like a specialist skincare product. This one is actually a range that I'm going to mention, which is the Shiseido Ibuki range, which is one that's kind of designed for 20s skin, so people in the 20s who, you're out of the spot phase but you're not quite into anti-aging phase, but you're probably not really looking after yourself too well, so probably lots of late nights, probably a lot of takeaway because your metabolism can still handle it. Yeah, late nights, lots of alcohol, each their own. But this one I've really liked. In particular, these are my two favourite products from the range. One which is the Refining Moisturizer, which I really, really like. It's kind of similar to the whole Origins Make a Difference range. It kind of refreshes the skin at the same time as hydrating. And the Purifying Cleanser, which is a real sort of real deep clean. It's a bit exfoliating and it just sort of drags everything out that's a bit manky. So I really like that. I really like the fact that there's a range that kind of hits that middle ground of not anti-aging, not anti-spot. It's the kind of happy medium, whereas you're probably getting spots, but probably because you're not looking after your skin. Your skin's probably a bit dull, but it's not because you're getting older, it's just because you're not looking after it. It's that kind of happy medium for the 20s. So for the final one, which is one that I introduced a couple of years ago, is the Wild Card. So it's basically my chance to kind of pick a product that I've loved that isn't particularly for any particular reason. I guess it's not a particular category, it's just I've loved this, I want to mention it. So again, I've got two for this year. One which has got to be these beauties, which is the probably going to say this wrong, Borghese body soak, which I've blogged about, so I'll pop the link in the comments box below. But it's basically this sort of bright bluey, greeny, tealy sort of soak, sort of, it's kind of like a powder I suppose that you drop into the bath, turns the whole bath into sort of mermaid blue, and it's somehow, it just leaves your skin feeling really amazingly soft, and I always feel really relaxed after one of these baths. So it's not just one that you kind of, nice bubbles and things, like it doesn't create bubbles, it's just really lovely skin softening benefits, and I just absolutely adore it. It's literally like one scoop, so I'm about 2/3 of the way through that pot, which I've had for probably 7 months or so, I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but that is an absolute winner, and I think I will definitely be repurchasing. It's one that I haven't heard of the brand other than available on Cult Beauty, so that's where you need to go to get it, and it's absolutely fantastic. The next honourable mention has to go to this one, or not honourable mention, this is Wildcard. Wildcard honourable mention for the Clarins Instant Smooth Self Tanning. Absolutely adore this. It's the best fake tan I've used for face ever, I believe. It's one that's got that kind of, it's got the kind of silicone-y smooth feel. You kind of rub it all over, it gives you an instant colour, and then it develops into an actual tan as well. So absolutely love that. It's a really, really great fake tan. It's one I'll be using. I'm sort of a fake, half fake tanned at the moment. As you can tell from the gorgeous line I have across my wrists, so I've clearly done a massive fail on that. So it doesn't matter how long you're beauty blogging, you still manage to do things like that. Brilliant. Speaking of fake tanning, lastly, whilst they're all my categories done, I just thought there was a few other little products that I wanted to give little honourable mentions to that I've loved that I haven't necessarily had categories for. So I'll just run through those randomly. So one has got to be the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. That is absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant in terms of moisturising and coverage at the same time, because it tends to often be that if you want high coverage you tend to get quite a drying effect. This is brilliant for a kind of happy medium between the two. It's good coverage and hydrating at the same time, which is very, very important for a dry area. On the fake tan front, this is one, it's got to be, it's a bit dented, but it's the Fake Bake 60-minute one. Absolutely brilliant. It's a tough call because there's this one and then there's also the He-She Gel Tan, which I really love. But I think in terms of speed and efficiency, this has got to be the absolute winner. A tan that develops in 60 minutes is all I've ever wanted basically from a fake tan, which is brilliant. And then finally, two more products. One which is the By Terry Brow Mascara. It's just a perfect colour, it's easy to use, it's quick, it's fantastic for brows. If you are I've mentioned this a million times, so sorry if I'm boring anybody, but if you've never filled your brows in before, or you've got quite pale brows or something like that, you don't necessarily want to do too much to them, you just want to kind of fix them up, give them a little bit of an extra oomph colour wise, get one of these brow mascaras. They're absolutely fantastic. They are slightly more expensive, but they're so much easier and quicker to use than some of the cheaper versions, so I really like the By Terry. My last honourable mention after the By Terry brow mascara has got to be for my sort of blusher of the year, essentially, which has got to be the Peony shade from Bobbi Brown. It's bright pink, and it's one that I've basically used all year. It is really like an all-rounder. It suits me winter or summer. Bright pink, gives just that really natural glow and flush, and I absolutely love it. So, and best thing is that despite using it all year, it's barely even created a dent, which I think is pretty amazing. I'm still baffled by people who manage to actually finish beauty products like blushes and things like that. I don't think I've ever managed to finish an entire blusher. Oh no, that's not true. I've managed to finish a Benefit Coralista before, but only in the little size, like they do the little palettes with there's like 3 shades and a little brush, and that one I've managed to finish. I've never managed to finish a full one. I don't know, maybe I just don't apply enough makeup, who knows, which is probably a bit odd for a beauty blogger. I should probably be wearing like 4 inches of stuff. But I've absolutely loved this colour, it's brilliant, and that is my final honourable mention of 2013. So they're all my products. Here's to a fantastic 2014 and lots of fantastic products to try and waffle on about. See you soon, bye.